everyone, today I'll be reviewing this brand new movie dropped on Netflix. It's called A Man of Action, and this movie, it is based on true story, but this movie did tell us that it is not fully story. Some of the character they added, and they added for dramatical purpose, so it's not a like bit by bit true story. So in this movie you see Lucio, who is like, this movie starts with his earlier life, or should I say his earlier life, when his father passed away, and we see he had always this resentment toward the bank. Although this movie is the first act, when it was showing us like he just went to bank and asking for money, and bank was telling him like, that's not how it works. To that, okay, maybe it is true. But we see Lucio, how he get first he gets into army, then he gets out of army, how he was doing some normal job, then he was doing some bank robbery, then later he decided to do all this counterfeiting for bank draft. And this movie, it is showing, I think the story is in 1986, and I must say this movie, it is such a beautifully made, this movie, especially from production point of view, and acting is so good. And the center actor Lucio, he's so good in this movie. The minute he shows up on screen, you really like him. He's like he always trying to do good for society, and somehow all these people who is activists, they get him involved in stuff, and we see he like how he become this anarchist. And I didn't know what was anarchist means. When I was hearing him, like, whoa, that is like, whoa. But we see earlier life, he's always being against the bank, and how he gets into this counterfeiting bank draft making business. Yeah, this movie, it is very well made, and we see he goes from Barcelona to Paris in this movie's case, and he was involved into many things. And this movie, it is a little long, like 2 hours and 15 minutes, but the way this movie was made, and it's so charming watch that you never feel the time. Like, it is very engaging movie. As I was saying, the center character Lucio is really very sweet, and like you really like watching him. This actor is so good in this movie. So is all the other side character in this movie. They are also really good. And how all other people like influences his decision, the way this movie was shown. This movie is really very beautifully directed, I must say. And the production, the costume, this movie, it's so good. I really like this movie a lot. I was like, whoa, this is really very good story. Same time, I do want to say this, like, although it is like because this movie is such a well made and beautifully made, but I do want to acknowledge, end of the day, what he was doing, like robbing the bank, is of course is wrong. As the audience, you do think that, oh, what is he doing is wrong, robbing bank is not okay. Some of his decision in this movie, you do see he's wrong. Some of the things, like some of the decision he takes, robbing bank and going around, it's not okay. In this movie does, he is a criminal, I guess, end of the day, but somehow he did get to pay huge settlement from bank. That is the story. I was like amazed by it. I'm like, oh my God, are bank just paying him like that? Because the story takes place in that time. It is very believable, I see. I was like, as I was saying, like, I'm not saying he was a good guy, robbing bank is not okay, but how much, end of the day, he did got to pay huge in this movie, and that was the like fascinating part. And this guy Luis, I think this movie told us he did write 2 books, and I guess he passed away in 2020. And this movie, it is very, even you don't like this kind of, because the center character, it is morally wrong, I guess, when you see it. And he didn't get, he was in jail, but he didn't get punishment for doing something wrong. But because this movie is made such a beautiful way and charming, you are like, you can ignore some of this thing, because at the end of the day, what he was doing is wrong. It is, I do want to acknowledge it, because when I was watching it, I was like, whoa, man, you are... then again, he was going away with this. So who are we to say? Like he didn't go to jail, I think, or something like that. And this took place long time ago, and there was one inspector who was following him around. Yeah, this movie was quite well made. I had really good time watching, and that's my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment, what do you think about this movie? If you enjoyed this review, don't forget my other reviews on other Netflix movie. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take care.